Right now, you're sitting down reading this. Your eyes scan left to right. Your hands rest somewhere comfortable. But 10,000 years ago, your ancestor could do something you cannot. They could navigate across an entire continent without a map, without a compass, without anything but the position of stars and the smell of the wind. You probably think you're more advanced than they were. You have technology, you have medicine, you have Google Maps, but there's a specific category of human ability that your ancient relatives possessed, and you've completely lost. Not because you're less intelligent, but because your brain stopped needing those skills. And once a skill stops being needed, evolution doesn't waste energy maintaining it. Neuroscientist Eleanor Maguire from University College London studied the brains of London taxi drivers. These drivers spend years memorizing every street, every corner, every hidden route through the city. And when Maguire scanned their brains, she found something remarkable. Their hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for spatial memory, was physically larger than average. The brain had literally grown to accommodate this information, but your brain hasn't had to do that in generations. You outsourced navigation to your phone. Ancient humans could smell water from miles away, not in a mystical sense, but their olfactory system, their sense of smell, was trained from birth to detect the faint mineral signature of water in the air. A person surviving in the desert doesn't have a choice. They learn. Their brain adapts. This wasn't magic. It was necessity. Researcher David Buss at the University of Texas has studied human sensory abilities across cultures. He found that people who grow up in sound-rich environments, without the constant white noise of traffic and air conditioning, develop auditory memory that seems almost superhuman to modern ears. Ancient humans could identify individuals by their footsteps from 100 meters away. They could distinguish the rustle of a predator from the rustle of wind through grass. These weren't special people. They were just people whose survival depended on it. Your ancestors could run for hours without stopping. Not sprinting, but a steady, relentless pace that would exhaust you in 20 minutes. Humans are built for distance running. We don't have the explosive power of a cheetah or a lion, but our ability to cover ground slowly and continuously is unmatched in the animal kingdom. Ancient humans hunted by persistence. They would chase an animal for half a day until it simply collapsed from exhaustion. You couldn't do that today. Your legs would fail. Your lungs would scream. Your mind would quit. But the real superpower wasn't physical. It was cognitive. Your ancestors possessed something called wayfinding, an almost supernatural ability to maintain a perfect mental map of their surroundings. They could walk into a forest once and never need to walk the same path twice. They knew where they were relative to everything else at all times. They understood the land the way you understand your own home. They knew which plants were edible by touch alone, which fungi would kill you, which animals were active at which times, which weather patterns preceded which seasons. This knowledge wasn't written down. It was embedded in memory. And because it had to be, their memory worked differently than yours. Not better. Different. They could hold vast quantities of spatial and botanical information without any external storage. Because they had to. Modern humans have offloaded nearly every skill to external systems. You don't remember phone numbers, you don't navigate without GPS, you don't identify plants or animals, you don't make fire, you don't build shelter. Your brain has been freed from these tasks, so those neural pathways have atrophied. This is actually a feature, not a bug. Your brain has massive bandwidth now to focus on abstract thinking, on mathematics, on philosophy, on the kind of complex symbolic reasoning that builds civilizations. But there's a cost. Put a modern human in a wilderness, and they're helpless. Put an ancient human in a modern city, and they'd be equally lost. But give an ancient human 3 weeks in that wilderness, and they'd thrive. They'd read the land, they'd provide for themselves, they'd create shelter, they'd survive. There's a research paper by cognitive psychologist John Fawcett on skill acquisition and the plasticity of memory. He found that when modern humans are forced to navigate without technology, their brain adapts within weeks. The neural pathways strengthen, their spatial memory improves dramatically. They begin to notice things, the way light filters through trees, the pattern of moss on rocks. They're not becoming ancient, but they're becoming more fully human. Your ancestors weren't smarter than you. They were differently skilled. They had to be. Survival demanded it. You don't face those pressures, so you've optimized your brain for different challenges. Abstract reasoning, language, technology, social cooperation at scale. But somewhere in your nervous system, the ancient knowledge still exists. It hasn't been deleted. It's just dormant. And on those rare nights when you step outside and actually look at the stars without checking your phone, when you taste food that you grew yourself, when you navigate somewhere without GPS and actually pay attention, you feel something shift. A slight awakening of something that was always there. Your ancestors could do things you can't. But maybe the question isn't what you've lost. Maybe it's what you've gained and what you're still capable of becoming. Because the same brain that forgot how to navigate the wilderness can relearn it in a matter of weeks. The same hands that forgot how to make fire can remember. The same senses that went quiet can awaken again. Your ancestors could navigate across continents without a map. And so can you. You've just forgotten that you could.